Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Thank you for stopping by. Been taking it a little easy this past week, mending my broken leg still. I'm doing better, though. I'm walking, and I'm on one crutch now. So, I'm feeling good. But, some very interesting news. A lot of things to catch up on. I don't know if you've seen this report, but a story has just come out courtesy of thedrive.com. that describes a very, as they put it, bizarre encounter that occurred this past October with a so-called mystery aircraft over Oregon. And they still don't know what it is, what it was. They tried to track this thing, couldn't track it, couldn't get it on radar. Fighter jets couldn't even catch the thing. And yeah, it's still a complete mystery. So here's a little rundown of what exactly happened. There's a lot of technical terms, a lot of technical talk that you'll probably only understand if you're a pilot. So I'll try to, make it so it's understandable. And so what we know so far is that the FAA, the USAF, the air traffic control couldn't explain, but at the very least confirmed this event that did indeed occur. So, quoting Mr. Tyler Rogaway, by the way, awesome name, who said in the report, quote, "Something quite out of the ordinary occurred in the skies over Oregon on October 25th. A mystery flying aircraft was flying in the daylight hours among the steady stream of airliners that traverse from south to north between the locales in California and Nevada and cities like Portland and Seattle. The incident began, at least as best as we can tell, around 4:30 p.m. near the California-Oregon border, and resulted in multiple pilot eyewitnesses, recorded air traffic control audio, and eventual confirmations from both the FAA and the North American Aerospace Command, otherwise known as NORAD, that this did indeed occur." And so when this first came to light, originally they thought, well, this is just, a normal everyday occurrence where maybe they spotted an aircraft that maybe had a broken radio or a transponder that maybe it, strayed into an area that it shouldn't have. And sometimes this does occur, and there have been cases where many times NORAD will scramble jets to head out there and find out what's going on. However, days, after this report came out and the picture started to emerge, that this was definitely more than just your typical NORAD private aircraft interception, where something was maybe going wrong. And there was even a Reddit thread that popped up online that was speaking about this and not only corroborated the strange accounts and events, but it also had more details about it. The post was pinned by a pilot who says that they were in the sky over the Northwest in the early evening when the incident occurred, with the post coming shortly after the incident. Here is an entry by the Reddit poster Durpass that reads, quote, "Just landed in Seattle coming from the Bay Area. Beginning over southern Oregon, we kept overhearing Seattle Center attempting to track an airplane with no transponder who wasn't talking. A handful of crews were able to track it visually. Best they could tell, it was between 35,000 and 37,000 feet northbound. Nobody close enough to see the type. Last we heard, it was over the Willamette Valley northbound, and some fighters, perhaps out of Portland International Airport, were scrambled to go and take a peek, but Center had trouble tracking it on primary radar." So basically, they couldn't track this thing, but it got to the point where they were just asking normal everyday commercial flights to see if they could spot it, and that's how they were tracking it. And so the last airplane to see it had to descend into Portland and lost sight of the thing. And that's when fighters were scrambled out, which then flew around for a while but could not find it. And that's that.
Southwest 4712, Kevin. Center, good evening, Southwest 4712, flight level 380, and we're watching that unknown aircraft at 1 o'clock.
Southwest 4712, Seattle, turn around here, and can you estimate the altitude, please?
Our best estimate is 370.
Thank you. 4712. Are you just...
Okay, so what you just heard was just a small portion of the audio recordings between all of these different pilots, which goes to show that there were many of these communications between various jet crews and Seattle Center, whose controllers trying to track this aircraft, as they're calling it, as it made its way north towards Willamette Valley. It said that the aircraft was not able to be tracked on radar, nor did it show up on the crew's Digital Traffic Collision Avoidance System, or TCAS, but that it was clearly there, never quite close enough to positively identify what type of aircraft it was. So basically, they saw something, all right? They don't know what it was. Very strange. Sometimes they could paint it on radar, but they couldn't track it. There were a few instances where commercial pilots were able to see it in the distance, but again, they had to land and they lost sight of it. And here's the strange part, is that NORAD scrambled jets to head out and find this thing. And so they sent out 2 F-15s from Portland. But by the time that they got up there to, quote, look around, the mystery aircraft could not be found. And what's strange about this is that if you know anything about these aircraft, these jets, these are some of the most capable and advanced and fastest jets in the world, along with long-range visual identification technology. The pilots, some of the best in the world, highly trained, and were scrambled almost immediately. And the fact that they got out there and, quote, didn't find anything is extremely surprising. And this has got a lot of people saying that, well, something isn't right here. This mystery aircraft, had it been an actual aircraft, it couldn't have just disappeared like that within moments, to where these 2 F-15s just, couldn't find it at all. With all of this advanced technology, the speed, something weird is going on here. And then there's the fact that this aircraft couldn't be tracked on radar. They couldn't get a good visual ID of it. Some have said, well, maybe they were smugglers, but many have said, well, why would smugglers be flying, a big, bright, white aircraft in the middle of an area that they knew would be tracked, and that they knew would have jets scrambled from NORAD? Obviously, catching them almost immediately as they pass through, it just doesn't make any sense. And so either this is the most, elusive aircraft known to man, that completely outbeats and outspeeds fighter jets, F-15s, or we're not being told the whole truth here. And so both the FAA as well as NORAD were contacted. NORAD basically confirmed it, but the FAA repeatedly ignored inquiries into what was going on, finally answering and saying that they had nothing further to add to the events that had already been described. Which, indirectly, obviously, they admitted that the events at least did occur. And so, as the author from thedrive.com put it, clearly, having an unidentified aircraft that doesn't show up on radar and that is flying amongst civilian air traffic in the flight levels for extended periods of time isn't something that you brush off. It's strange. So, yeah, I will post a link to this report down below. You guys can go over and check it out. The author of it, Tyler Rogoway, did a great job of writing it. Of course, he is going to be following up on it, so you can follow him there, or you can follow us here at Secureteam. And if either of us, get any information through Reddit or anything like that, I'm sure I'm going to be getting a bunch of emails from pilots following this thing. I'll definitely post an update if we get it. So, yeah, any pilots out there, let me know what you guys think of this. I'm not a pilot, so I don't know what to make of it. Other than we have an unidentified craft here that they could not track, and that was basically went ghost before anybody could even get to it. So, very mysterious. So with that, and as always, be sure to share this video, subscribe on your way out if you haven't yet, follow me on Facebook and Twitter for when new videos are coming, and I will see you all back in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.